dealing with which word and what place and what line and shifting things. I love you all. Thanks.
Our pleasure. The guidelines, you have the process outline, the plan endorsement process outline, the actual guidelines dated, are they dated September 10th, 2007, and the plan endorsement benefits dated August 20th, 2007. The plan endorsement benefits have not changed over hopefully next several years. They will change, and we'll be adding quite a few, clarifying these, but usually the benefits. The plan endorsement process outline, again, is a summary of the guidelines. The guidelines have not changed significantly. Changes were made to clarify any ambiguity since the PIC moved them to you, or actually prior to the PIC moving them to you. But really there has been no significant changes other than, like I said before, changing it from a 9-step process to a 10-step process to make it clear that the advisory committee is guiding the entire plan endorsement process, not just the municipal self-assessment part of the process, as well as with the advisory committee, hearing some comments both from John as well as the public. We've changed the requirement for creation of the advisory committee to be only that the mayor appoints the advisory committee by resolution at a public meeting. That's consistent with what the MLUL provides, that the mayor is given the authority to create a citizens advisory committee to help the planning board carry out its duties. So we made it more in line with the MLUL, removing that they have to have the consent of the governing body. We recommend that they have the consent of the governing body, but it's not a requirement. The mayor can just appoint, like Ben mentioned, we do have a sample resolution that they can follow in order to make that process painless as possible. And it lists, it would identify the actual individuals who would be on the advisory committee. But other than that, the plan endorsement guidelines have really not changed. The process is the same with all the requirements listed in the back, and then the benefits once you get endorsement to be handed out to the petitioners. So that's the guidelines.
Any questions?
Just a clarification, back to my favorite topic now, the waiver. It looks as though, Tracy, the wording in the what I'll call the bulletized process page, the 10-step process, in 3 and in 4 is broad enough to include the implication that in 3B, for example, that the petitioner's findings and conclusions can include what waivers they might be seeking. And then in 4, that the OSG production of an assessment report can reflect that. I just want to make sure the record reflects that and we're all clear on where that is.
Mr. Chairman, I just have a comment. I just wanted to acknowledge all the hard work of the PIC and the staff and state agency staff. I think this document has come a tremendous way. I think the language in it is very good, the guidance language throughout each of the sections. I think it's very well done, and I just wanted to compliment with the hard work of Ben and the staff and the state agency staff and the public.
Anyone else? I'm sorry, Tracy.
Just have one more important point, that the guidelines, again, can be amended, enhanced, improved as we go through the process, as we come up with issues that municipalities or petitioners raise with us. We can bring those to the State Planning Commission, to the PIC and then the State Planning Commission, so that they can be rectified.
I think there are some of us that view this as a work in progress, and it's the first step in the evolution of this thing. Because again, at the PIC, I don't think there was anybody that was totally satisfied, and they were all the hot button issues that have always been out there. I don't think the affordable housing thing is tied down yet. It's not, but we have some. The water sewer issue.
Not good enough for me. It's progress, but I think it still leans more towards regulation driving planning rather than vice versa. Good progress. I think we're going to have to keep coming back to this. And last but not least, the benefits, again, I mentioned earlier, nice laundry list. My mind's got to be more, particularly for those of us that are out there in the field every day, ask why should we do this and why should we spend 6 figures getting into this process. We need more than just to say, well, if you don't do it, good luck, you're going no place. It would be nice to have, this is, again, good start. But this is a work in progress, and we're going to have to keep it in front of us every step of the way, so expect change.
I totally agree with what John said, and I have not participated in the big discussions. But I too have, feel that we absolutely have a way to go in clarifying some issues with regard to COA and more particularly, really, with wastewater management planning and with the benefits. And I would add that and it's not really necessarily part of the guidelines themselves, but I have a concern about the navigation issues, about the support that the towns will have navigating this process. There's only so much that OSG staff can do, and there is a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done and to help towns to deal with the various state agencies. And I'm not clear on how that's, I know there have been various ways that have been suggested for it. I don't have any particular suggestion myself. I just think that we need to be mindful of that, because this is just not easy. It's not going to be easy or cheap. It's a real investment, and people need help. Towns are going to need help.
I agree with you 100%. I think that one of the things in going forward, I mean, this is sort of a separate discussion. The county's always been very active, and my hope is always that the counties somehow remain active, and that a lot of this planning or support occurs at the county level. I don't know how to make that happen. I don't know where the funding is coming in. It's always easier for the county to assess municipalities as a whole when you're dealing with the larger, like wastewater treatment. The municipalities for the most part are part of regional sewage systems. And that most of the problem we're having right now is not in terms of the growth of new housing or industry. It's in terms of inflow infiltration into infrastructure that is in badly need of replacement. So we can have these municipal discussions, but the fact of the matter, when you look at overflow conditions, it occurs in stormwater events or in flood events, and that's like 90% of the problem. So that we still have, I applaud the staff, I applaud the PIC for all the work they've done on this. I say, we need to get this in the process of moving forward. There's still these bigger issues, and that with municipalities and the budget crisis, and I just really hope that we could bring the counties back in somehow, and that they can pool resources.
And just to dovetail on that, it amazes me how proactive so many municipalities have been. And I really think they need to be applauded, because there are so many great towns that are sucking it up, so to speak, and are willing to take this process on. And that's why I really want to thank Ben and everybody in the office for putting in not 100%, because I indicated before, 1,000%, as somebody once said, effort, because they're getting it. They really are. And as you go around the state and listen to people at the various meetings that we went to, municipalities now understand the value of it. Not that everyone's going to participate, but they're certainly getting the picture. And anything dovetailing what you're saying, Marilyn, anything that the counties can do to assist them in that process should be very important, which gets to Mayor's point, which is, how much can a municipality do and just how much can be spent. But perhaps we should encourage that not only to look to our office, but also to the county offices for as much assistance as they can get there. And certainly the interdependence, because of the regional planning aspect and all those issues you brought up, is very important.
Just in